It's almost Halloween weekend, which means your teens are likely making party plans with their friends. But the truth is, not every kid gets invited. And if your child is the one who is left out, there are ways you, as a parent, can help. Jessi Berger is the host of the online community Middle Moms. Today she's sharing 5 ways to support your teen when they're feeling alone. Welcome, Jessi.
Hi, thanks, Brett.
This is a big one, and you believe that being left out does happen to every teenager at some
Every
point.
kid.
Yeah.
Every person.
Yeah. And we were just chatting, not to always, make social media the bad guy, but I'm sure you and I were left out of plenty of events. We just didn't know about it.
You didn't see it. It wasn't like coming into your house through your phone, and so you just didn't know.
Right.
But now, you can't avoid it. It's everywhere. Those kids are going to know.
You see friends at a party on Instagram or TikTok, and you know that you weren't there.
Exactly.
You have 5 ways parents can help their teens when they do feel left out. And there is this balance, and I'm sure you know better than I. I'm just projecting here, but it's like you don't want to extend yourself, right? You're still the mom, not the friend, but you think mom can help fill some gaps in those moments.
You can help fill some of the gaps. You're not overcompensating by being like, oh my gosh, you got left out. Let's go to Disneyland and make it better, right? That is a Band-Aid on the problem.
Yeah.
But there are little things that you can do as a parent to kind of minimize the damage to your kid.
You say it starts just by acknowledging the feelings, like stating the emotion in the room.
Right, so if your kid comes home and they're upset that they've been left out of something, you don't say, it's no big deal.
Brush it off.
Don't worry about it. No, acknowledge it hurts to be left out, and that makes them feel bad, and that's okay that they feel bad, and you can let them cry a little bit about it, and they can maybe stew a little bit over it. You don't want it to go on too long, but let them feel those emotions so that they can work through them.
Yeah, it is easy from our perspective to be like, oh, there will be another party, it's okay, you don't need those, whatever.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that reminder that in the moment to kind of meet them where they're at is what I'm hearing you say, and let the emotions kind of play out.
Yeah, because you've got to feel them to get through them.
Right. At that point, you say you can help offer alternate options.
Yeah, you can, because I think their brains immediately think, oh my gosh, I got left out, they don't like me. And so often that's not true. So we need to open our kids up to these other ideas. Like, hey, maybe they could only invite 3 people and you just didn't get invited. It's not that they don't like you, but maybe you weren't in their top 3. Or maybe they just made a mistake and forgot. I'll tell you, my daughter came home the other day and she'd been putting together a little group thing, and she came home and said, oh my gosh, Mom, I forgot Hunter on our group text. And I said, what happened? And she said, well, I put in H and I thought it filled in Hunter, and it didn't. And so one of her friends just got left off the list, and she was panicking because it was an accident, right? So let's assume that sometimes kids make accidents because they do.
They do.
Yeah.
And the idea that there could have been a number limitation, or I was telling you, my 7-year-old even came home and said, my 2 best friends have matching bracelets on. Why don't I have one? I said, it probably came in a pack of 2. And she was like, okay, it's that kind of that logic or that alternate story option that we can help make them see or explore.
Yes, because really most often it's not, they don't like me.
Right.
There's usually something else at play.
Right, right. At what point can you help them take control, or maybe take some action toward what their healthy friend circle might look like?
Yeah, so it always feels bad when they feel like the victim. So you try and move them from feeling like the victim of being left out to saying, you know what can you control? What can you do? So can you have your own little get together? Or can you continue to be nice to people? Because that's a hard one for teenagers. When they get left out, they just want to shun that person,
those wounds
right?
don't heal.
Yeah, and instead, if you can kind of move through it and you can be kind, I am a firm believer, kindness always comes back to you. It always boomerangs back around. So be kind, even if you don't really feel kind. I know it's a hard thing. Other things that they can do is be loyal. Be loyal to the person that they know is their friend. So if somebody is not a great friend to them, that's okay, but be loyal to the ones that you know are your friends. And when necessary, get new friends. It's so hard. It's so scary to say those things, but sometimes you need to find new friends, who want you there and who connect with you and who want you to be part of their group.
I love that you touched on the word loyalty. I think of that word often. It's kind of under-discussed, under-celebrated, but loyalty equates to kindness, and it equates to friendship and connection. And it's an important one to teach. Ultimately, you say the goal here is to help them zoom out a little bit from this moment that hurts so very much to kind of a bigger picture.
Yeah, because you get kind of hyper-focused on the thing that went wrong.
Easy to do, yeah.
But if you can move them out, so oh, you got left out at school, but the guys on your mountain biking team wanted you to go get burgers after. So you're not unlovable, and you're not awkward, and you're not weird. It was just one situation that didn't work out for you. And so look at these other places that work out. It's great to have older kids who can say, oh my gosh, let me tell you about when this happened to me. And now look, I'm in high school and I have all these friends and things work out. Or if you have a high schooler, you know, when you go to college, it's different. Help them just kind of back out of it and see that this one experience that they're focusing on does not define their whole life. And it's not everything. It's just this like one tiny moment that hurt. Keep it.
And from what they can control to what we can control, we can make home kind of that pillow, right? That landing place.
Yeah, it's like their safe space. So if school is a hard place for your kid right now, then your home needs to be like their safety net, right? They need to feel comfortable there. They need to feel like when they're home, they matter. And that like you want them there. My husband's so good at that. When my kids just happen to be home on a Friday night, you know, because their plans fell through or something happened, he's like, oh my gosh, we're so happy to have you here. We never get to see you. Come on, what are we gonna do? Like, and he just pulls them right in and they feel good, right?
Because they feel purposefully involved.
Yes, because if they're not feeling good at school, let's at least make them feel good, like when they're home.
Yes.
And so, you know, you kind of, you don't wanna go overboard, but you need to be fun and fill that void a little bit.
Sure.
And so, you know, hey, let's go mountain biking. Let's go out and get a pizza. Let's binge whatever, you know, Disney Plus has on right now. Or whatever it is, you know, be fun for them so that your home is a fun, inviting, nice place for them to be.
And this really is, Jessi, one of those topics that age has no bound on. Like I referenced my 7-year-old, you're talking about your teenagers. I'm thinking of women who might be looking at Instagram, being left out of bunko night or that girls' night out. Do the same principles apply?
All those principles.
To us grown-up kids?
Right. All those principles apply, and you can also just remember you can make it better or you can make it worse. If you catastrophize it, if you let it take all this energy, if you are talking about it with every neighbor you come across, it's gonna make it worse. Where if you can like give somebody the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
If you can internally work through it instead of spreading it around, you know, and if you can just find ways to proactively get yourself involved, you're gonna do so much better.
Love your words, great wisdom to keep in mind. Where can we join in on your community conversations?
You can find me at my website, formiddlemoms.com, or on Instagram at middlemoms.
All right, Jessi, thank you so much.
Thanks, Brooke.